can't get a job because of your stutter, let's jump straight into this social media post as well as what you can do about it. This gentleman is saying he's looking for advice to get a job while having a stutter or stammer. Employers know that they shouldn't be able to discriminate, and they say they will get back to me on the job. However, I don't get it. Yeah, I definitely understand and hear what you're saying because I've been through that myself. Sure, it's incredibly tough to have a stutter and not to be able to get a job. So a couple thoughts here on this. Yes, depending where you live, sometimes a stutter is classified as a disability, and depending on the laws where you live, employers should not be able to discriminate against you. But you need to be able to speak probably for your job. So in the real world, we need practical, pragmatic solutions. And what sounds like is happening here is he goes on the interviews. This gentleman, they can't say to him on the interview, look, you can't have the job because you stutter. So therefore, they just say to him, hey, we'll get back to you. And then probably, well, what is he's thinking, that is because he has a stutter. And when they do get back to him, they say, look, sorry, we just chose someone else. And they don't say the stutter was the reason. First of all, I'd say, make sure you're applying to the right kind of jobs that line up with your skills. It might not be your stutter that's preventing you from getting the job. So there I'd say maybe go talk to a career coach. Obviously you've got to apply to like probably 100 plus jobs to get a handful of interviews and hopefully get a couple offers. That's just how it is to get a job. But let's talk more about the stuttering side. First of all, for me, yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I have definitely lost out on jobs because of my stutter. Tell you one quick story. I just out of school, 18 years old, super excited, wanted to get one of my first jobs. It was a sales job and I had a bad stutter. So you can imagine how that went. The interview didn't go well. I stuttered and stammered. They obviously did not give me the job because as a salesperson on a shop floor, you have to be able to communicate the benefits of the product to the customer and why they should buy it. And if you're stuttering and stammering, well, life is tough. You're not going to make a lot of sales, unfortunately. So rather figure out maybe something else as a first job. I also ran my own business for many years in web design, social media, online marketing, and I definitely lost out on clients there because I stuttered and stammered. I was so petrified I couldn't pick up the phone and talk to clients and close deals. So I definitely lost out on business and money because of my stutter and stammer. Thankfully now I'm in a much better spot with my speech, so I don't even think about it most of the time when I'm talking to customers and employers. Okay, so what can you do about it? Okay, so the first thing that you can do about it is that you can decide on how, let me say it again. I want to make sure I say this the right way, and I actually wrote it down, and it's don't let your stutter determine your destiny. I'm going to say it again. Don't let your stutter determine your destiny in life. There are things that you want to do, skills that you have, talents that you have. Don't let your stutter prevent you from sharing those things with the world and living the life that you want to live. That's the overall theme of what I'm saying. Don't let your stutter determine your destiny. Now you're going to say, but James, I stutter so badly, I can't get the job. Okay, I understand that. I've been there. Now you need to say, okay, well, what do you want to do ultimately in your life? You don't want to be sitting for hours and hours in a job that you hate just because there was a job where you don't have to talk, so you took that job. You want to allow your career or your work that you do each day to follow your passions and your interests. Now, you might not be able to get there immediately. You might have to say, okay, this is a 5-year plan. Let's say you are passionate about sales, you're passionate about people. You want to interact with people every day, you want to be talking to people, but you have a really, really bad stutter or stammer now, and that's not feasible. Or set it as your 5-year goal. Say to yourself, okay, my first goal is I need to pay the bills. So let me get a job that I don't need to speak that much. For example, me, I went into IT. A lot of my IT job, I don't have to talk, and that in some ways has helped me when it comes to speech. If I'm having a bad speech day, it's not the end of the world. So maybe try to find a job where you feel more comfortable, the pressure's off your speech at work. So you're not in this highly stressed out environment all day long with your speech, and you're emotionally drained, you've got no energy because every single day you're having to pick up the phone, you're stuttering, your boss is upset with you, all because of your speech. Find something that gives you the money you need and gives you space and time to work on your speech. So your focus is not your job. Your focus is your speech in that situation. Then get help for your speech. Maybe go see a speech therapist. Sign up for one of my courses. Join an online support group. Really work on your speech so that your speech gets to the point where you can get that job where you want. I'll give you an example in my personal life. So I am in South Africa. If you look at some other videos, I am a police reservist. So it's a volunteer reservist. It's part of the reserve force. You don't get paid, but you are able to serve the community and book on as a normal police officer with a patrol car, radio, etc. And now I just said radio. As you guys know, if you stutter, to talk on the phone, to talk on the radio, it's very, very tough. Now, in order to be a police officer out on the road, you have to be able to talk on the radio. You have to be able to call for backup. You have to report back on what happened at the incident or the scene. You need to be in communication with your colleagues on the radio. So I can't say to my commanding officer, oh, sorry, I can't talk on the radio. If I say that, he'll be like, well, you can't go out on the road. It's too dangerous. You have to be able to speak on the radio. Now, thankfully, as I was moving into becoming a police officer in the reserve force, I was working hard on my speech and I was practicing on the phone a lot, making those phone calls just to random shops and restaurants to practice my speech. And I took those skills that I was learning from there over to the radio. And also, when you talk on the radio, there's certain commands and codes, and you have to use that command or code. You can't substitute a different word, like I'd often do as a person who stutters. So that's a small example where I had to be able to talk on the radio to get the job that I wanted, and I was able to do that by working hard on my speech and really focusing on it and not letting my speech interfere with my destiny, because I believe part of my destiny is to serve people and to work as a police officer. That's part of who I am. So I didn't want my stutter to stop my destiny. So that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing you can do is there's some amazing organizations. One is called 50 Million Voices. It's a non-profit. You can Google them. It's 50millionvoices.org. There's another one called okay, there you go. I'm getting a stutter right now. That caught me out. I battle on the ST word. I'm trying to say okay, I'm going to use a technique. Just take a breath. Count to 2. 1, 2. Breathe in. Stammer. There's also another non-profit called Stammer. Those ST words get me. Google them. Also, they also offer help with interviews. So both 50 Million Voices and Stammer, they both offer practice interviews. I've worked with 50 Million Voices before as a as a volunteer to be the interviewer, and they've got an amazing program. It's all free. Well, I definitely know for 50 million voices that it's all free. There's no charge. They run it a couple times each year. It's run by people who themselves stutter and stammer. They have amazing online sessions which help to build your confidence, and then they pair you with someone in your industry, and you have your own practice interviews, which is quite amazing. And that's a great way to practice. And then when you hop on the call for your real interview or in person, you can disclose at the start of the interview, and you can say, hey, to the job interviewer, hey, I do battle a bit with my speech and I stutter and stammer. Please, can you just give me a little bit of extra time? My experience when you say that to someone shows that you're confident, shows that you're not hiding your stutter or your stammer, shows that you're aware of it and you're willing to work on it. All positive things, and the interviewer, in my experience, in the job market is much more open to you, and I know you can have a positive result there. So look for those two things, and I just wanted to make sure that you can get that help that you need. So yeah, just really don't lose hope. Like I say, don't let your speech determine your destiny. Like really, that's like a heartbreaking thing, to let something like your speech impact who you become. That's a really tough thing. So all the best to you. I believe in you. Let me know in the comments how I can help you. Google 50millionvoices.org. Google Stammer. Also look for their practice interviews. Maybe choose a job to start with that's a little bit easier, so you can focus on your speech, and then over time upgrade your job to the job that fits your destiny, what you want to do, what your passions are, so that you can live a life that you really feel proud of. All the best, and I'll chat to you guys later.